All right, guys, let's start off here on number 1. So they want us to write a polynomial in standard form with those zeros and a constant coefficient of 30. So I'm just going to deal with the zeros first. And so I'm going to put x plus 1. And then a little trick on this one, I'm actually going to put x minus 1 next. You don't have to do these in order. Whenever I have conjugates like that, I always want to put them together because it's an easier foil there. And then the last one here, 3 over 2. Whenever you have this one, I would go ahead and send that bottom up to the front, and I'm going to call that 2x minus 3. If you think about it, 2x minus 3 equals 0. I would add the 3, and x would be 3 over 2. So you send that bottom up to the front. Okay, so now we're going to, it wants this in standard form, so I'm going to go ahead and expand this out. Now here, I actually can do a foo because these are conjugates, so this one's going to be x squared minus 1. This one I'm not allowed to do that. I need a full FOIL here. So this is going to be 2x squared minus 10x, and minus 3x is going to be minus 13x, and then plus 15 there. And then I'm going to multiply these together. So I like to use a box for that whenever I do a 3 by 2. It's not required, but just make sure everything from one parenthesis multiplies by everything from the other. And so this will be 2x to the 4th minus 13x to the 3rd plus 15x squared. Minus 2x squared plus 13x, and then minus 15. Okay, so we'll just combine like terms here. So we got the 2x to the 4th, and then we got negative 50. Oh, no, those don't combine. Usually they do, but because we're missing a power here, they're not going to. So we just have that one as negative 13x to the 3rd. And then I have negative 2 and positive 15 is going to make positive 13x squared. And then I got plus 13x and then minus 15. Okay, couldn't really fit that, but you can see what I'm doing there. Last thing here then is that they wanted this, get a different color for this. They wanted this constant coefficient of 30. Now the constant is really the number without a variable there. So they want that to be 30. Right now it's negative 15. So it looks like I'm going to have to multiply this by negative 2. To get that to a positive 30, but since I do it to that, I really have to do it to everything. So I get negative 4x to the 4th plus 26x to the 3rd minus 26x squared minus 26x and then plus 30. So that's my final answer there. So whenever you have anything like that with that coefficient, you just have to find that and think, what do I have to multiply to get there? All right, next up here, we want to write a polynomial using the x and the y intercepts. So I always use the x intercepts first, and so there they are. Now I do see that this one's a bounce at 2, so I'm going to keep that in mind. So I'm going to write x plus 3 for the negative 3. I'm going to write x minus 2 squared for that bouncer at positive 2, and then I'm going to write x minus 5 for the 5 over there. Okay, so now I need to expand this out again, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to think of this as x minus 2 times x minus 2. So you can kind of multiply this in whatever order you want. I'll go ahead and just FOIL these two together, so that gives me x squared plus x minus 6. And then if I FOIL kind of these two together, then I get x squared minus 7x plus 10. So now I need to multiply these two together, so I'm going to use another box for that. This one will be a 3 by 3, or whatever method you have. You'll get x to the 4th, and then get x to the 3rd, minus 6x squared, minus 7x to the 3rd, negative 7x squared, and then 42x, 10x squared, 10x, and negative 60. Okay, so now we'll combine like terms. We get x to the 4th. These two will combine to make negative 6x to the 3rd. I got, let's see, negative 13 plus 10 is just going to make a negative 3x squared, a positive 52x, and then a negative 60 back there. Okay, so then next up what they wanted us to also look at is the y-intercept. So I see the y-intercept is at 0, negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. I know that y equals this, so I'm going to plug in negative 2 right here. And what we're thinking is that there's some a value out here that we don't really know. Kind of like last time, we have to multiply the whole equation by something. but I got to find out what that something is. So I know that if I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to get out -2 for y. So that'll cancel this out, this out, this out, this out, and that out, or actually just those 4. And so it'll be -60 right there. So next up, to figure out what that a is, I'm just going to divide by -60. And I see that a is 1/30. So now what I need to do is I need to take this equation right here and I need to multiply it by 1/30 to get my final answer. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. That's really my a value, but I want to put this in standard form, so I'm gonna distribute it. So y equals 1/30 x to the 4th. And then right here we can do a little cross canceling. So 6/1 will turn into 1/5 x to the 3rd. And then this one will be -1/10 x squared. Let's see, 52 and 30, they can both divide by 6. So that gives me, is it 6? No. It's just 2. So that's going to give me a positive 26/15x and then a -2. All right, number 3 is just asking for the zeros and the multiplicity. So I see that this one would be a 0 at 1 with a multiplicity of 2, and that's just the exponent that comes from. And then -2 as well, and that's going to have a multiplicity of 3. That means that this one will bounce and this one will cut. It doesn't ask us that, but just as a reminder, it's the evens versus the odds on the multiplicity. All right, next up, number 4. So this one, it's really kind of going back to that last one. So I do know it's degree 5 because it's in factored form. I have to count up the exponents. It is positive, so I know it's going to be like a positive slope here. And then I already said that we have a bounce there at 1 and then a cut at -2. So since we're coming from the bottom, we're going to cut to the top and then bounce off at 1 and then finish up there. All right, number 5 here. We know we can already do our degree is going to be a 3 negative. And we know it's degree 3 because this is standard form, so we only look at the biggest exponent. So then I know, I'll go ahead and just do this on this graph again. It's going to be up to the left and down to the right. So I can actually already do the end behavior. If it's up left, that would be y going to infinity as x goes to -infinity. And then if it's down right, that's going to be y goes to -infinity as x goes to infinity. All right, but I need to factor this in order to find the zeros. So I'm going to take out a -x there. I always like to have my I always like to have my a value positive when I factor. So now I got x minus 4 and x plus 3. So that's going to give me a 0 at 4, a 0 at 0 since I pulled out the x, and then at -3. So they're all cuts. So I'm going to just cut through the x-axis every time. All right, next up they want me to graph this one. Now I do see that this one's a degree 3 positive, so it's going to go down to the left and up to the right. And then I'll go ahead and factor this, factor out an x, or I'll factor by grouping. So factor out an x squared out of the first group and -9 out of the second group. So we get x squared minus 9 times x minus 4, and then we'll factor it some more with the difference of perfect squares. Okay, so we got -3, we got +3, and we got +4. And then we got all cuts, so we're going to go up there, and then underneath there, and then back up there. Now we want the intervals in which p of x is less than 0, so we can actually use this graph to kind of think of above or below the x-axis as positive or negative. I would think of these as open circles, though, since we don't want to include them. So I would say -infinity to -3, and then also from 3 to 4. All right, next up, number 7 here. I'm going to graph this. I see it as degree 6 positive because it's in factored form. We add up the exponents. So it's going to be up to the left and up to the right. And then I got my zeros at +1, -1, and then +2. And then the only bouncer here is that -1. So I'm going to bounce it off at -1, and then cut underneath and then cut back above. Okay, and then they want where it is greater than or equal to 0. So for that one, once again, I'm going to think of these as pluses and then these as minuses. Now, since we're doing greater than or equal to, that means we are including the x-intercepts here. So I see that the first interval is going to be from negative infinity to positive 1. I'm not going to put a break here at negative 1 because really this is still included. There's no break there, and the only break starts in between here. So then I'm going to start a union here and then bracket 2 to infinity. For part B, when is it less than or equal to 0? Now I really do need to include this negative 1 here on an island because that is part of our answer here because it's on the x-axis, and then the other zone is between 1 and 2. All right, next up, number 8, it's a nonlinear inequality. So again, I'm going to kind of graph this just to see what it looks like. So I get x to the 4th minus 8x squared plus 16 if I GCF an x there. So then I'm going to factor that. It'll be x squared, let's see, that'll be minus 4, x squared minus 4, won't it? Yep. So then I got x minus 2, x plus 2, and then the same thing over again. And so I'm going to combine the ones that are the same and make them squared. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph it right here. Negative 2, positive 2. We're degree 5 positive. So we should be looking like that. We're going to bounce off the negative 2, cut through, and then bounce off right there. So where's this greater than 0? Well, it's these plus ones here, but it's also this x-intercept right there, so I need to include that. And then also from 0 to infinity. I'm not going to take a break between 0 and infinity because there is not one.